Land in the free where you vote how you want. Just not conservative, just not for Trump. If I don't vote for you, say I ain't black. Coke in the White House is that Hunter stash. I'm a proud patriot, waving the flag for all of the soldiers who gave all they had. Who came back to sheep and you yapping your yap, complaining about all the freedoms you have. While you were burning the flag. I'm offended.
You're offended. Hi, everybody. I'm waiting for Ray to join us now. I might have screwed up and I might have told him 8 p.m. and he's central because he's he's in Texas and I'm over up here in Cleveland. I'm like, did I tell you to come at like 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or no? So I said, look, homie, I'm live. Just come on in whenever you can. So how's everybody tonight? Michael Ash, what's up, Vic? What's up, Belly? What's up, Carl, Renee, Dorinda, Krista, Cat Warlord, hello, Stream Elements Robot, how you doing? They'll never answer me back. I just so you know. Ryan, Survival Julia, what's going on? Have you guys had a chance to check out Tactical Civics yet online? They have a book there. It's called The Great We Set, like as in we. And it is everything and anything that you need to know about how we stop the NWO, the WEF, because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm an ant compared to like the Klaus Schwabs of the world, the Vanguards, the Black Rocks, the Oprahs, the people that are really running this country. So it tells you everything that they tell you everything that you need to know. It's like $5 a month if you join by month with per month. I'm sorry, but if you want to do the whole year, it's only $50. I think they save you like $10 or something like that. But I feel like, hey, you know what? $10 savings. That's better than nothing right now, especially with the way the economy is going. So that what I played for you before we started, you guys. The Marine rapper kind of does these remixes. He just did a remix of Oliver Anthony's, and his remixes are really short, like a minute, 30 seconds, a minute long. But he did Oliver Anthony's Richmond, North of Richmond, and it was very touching. For the most part, I got a lot of positive comments when I stitched his short, and apparently, like on mine, a lot of people are like, you're writing his coattails or da 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 da. And it's like, strength in numbers, you guys. I prefer to hear other remixes of it too, because that shows the strength. We're going to keep it going. It's an unstoppable song. It's an anthem for people who love their constitutional rights, love their constitution, love their country, love their freedoms. And Ray's version of the remix, he had a letter and it was like a pink slip, and it was like, oh my God, the worst thing you could do is get that letter. You're being laid off and you have a whole ass family that you have to feed. You have a house payment. You have your bills out the union. You're taking care of kids. It's probably one of the most just ouch things that could happen to you when you have a family. It's shocking. It's like, wait, what? And then you want whatever little money I have or the tax dollars that I am slaving away for to go to some people that shouldn't even be here in the first place, or you wanted to go over to another freaking country and not wait, what? Or you working so hard, you're putting in all those hours, you're working your fingers to the bone, and come down when you get laid off and you need the help. It's like, how many circles and hoops do you have to jump through? And then you get denied. And it's like, it's unbelievable, right? It really is the state of the country today. It is. See, Carl has been there. Yeah. Yeah. Especially as a man, right? You're a man. So men take that very hard, and you guys, it's not custom for men to break down and talk about their emotions or display how they're feeling. It's very difficult, I think, for a man to expose their vulnerabilities, because I know back in our day you'd get made fun of for that. You'd be called a wussy or a sissy and all that. And then today wussy and sissy has completely taken a whole new meaning. A whole new drastic approach. Uh, what is that? The heart button? Oh, so if you're on a podcast or if you're on a YouTube, now they have reaction buttons like 100. You have happy faces, heart faces, and whatnot like that. That's all it is. It's a reaction button that you guys can do. They got rid of the dislike button, which I think did a big disservice to a lot of content creators, because that's how you gauge if your audience is happy with your content or not. You know, it's really, I think, a lot of people got so offended, that, oh my gosh, they can't handle, you know, the like and the dislike button. It's more, people put so much importance into that than their everyday life. Social media has, honestly, I think, done a great disservice to interpersonal communication. It's done a great disservice to people's feelings, making people too soft. People today would rather be lied to than told the truth, because, oh, the truth offends me, or it's racist, or it's xenophobic, or homophobic, or transphobic, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, but you can call me whatever the hell you want. At least I know the truth. And what's come so uncommon is being rewarded for telling the truth. We have people today that love being lied to, and I don't know, you guys think it's dumb as shit. I'm sorry. I think it is. I think it's counterproductive AF. Call me crazy. Did the Simpsons predict Maui? They seem to predict a lot of things. You know what's crazy, you guys? I was watching, do you guys know the show True Blood on HBO? It was about 7 seasons. It was they did a TV show based off of a comic book, True Blood. And I was just watching this the other day. In season 5, it talks about a new world order and these elites and all this, that, and the other, and people getting offended over words. And it's kind of like, I'm watching this because I love to do that. I love to rewatch that entire series from beginning until end. It's the only series that I've ever been able to do that with, besides like 90 Day Fiance. And it pretty much predicts this in season 5. And it's like, whoa, they're talking about a new world order, how the elites run things, and it's global globalist and climate crisis. And it was kind of like, oh my God, has Hollywood been telling us this the entire time? Like, I don't see Mel Gibson as lying. Oliver Anthony just dropped a new one. Yeah. I let's look at, I don't know if we can react to it. We might be able to do that while we're waiting for Ray to come on. Ray has a nice looking dog. He's got a brown Doberman, a rust colored Doberman. Let's see. Where are we at here? Oliver Anthony. Do you guys know I was shitting my pants, actually? I put out I've Got to Get Sober. I got a reaction video to that. It was my second one for Ray Anthony. Ray Anthony. Oh my God. For Oliver Anthony. Chris Oliver Anthony. And he commented on it. I was like, Roman, oh my God, gets my kid, right? And I'm like, guess who commented on my reaction video? And there's probably far too many Richmond, north of Richmond, for him to comment on all of them. And he did. He commented on I've Got to Get Sober. And what he said was, I just love y'all. Thank you so much. He was just a typical red-blooded American. And that, I think, is what makes this man so relatable. I think a lot of people can relate to him, no matter if you're in states bounds or not. If you're abroad, you can still relate to him. Let's check him out. Oliver Anthony music. I know he did another concert. I know he did that. A lot of people were like, oh, this guy, blah, blah, blah. He did a concert already. I'm like, yeah, for free. Touche. It's so many people are so damn negative today. It's really, really sad. I was like, you guys suck, man. You guys hate the fact that people are waking up and they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. over here going, man, these people, they don't know what the meaning of struggle is or what. Like, you're okay with politicians being more concerned with minors on an island than are people that are our bread and butter of the man. And what sucks is um the coal miners and everything else, you guys, that they're out of jobs. These globalists, oh, the global crisis, emissions, blah blah blah, putting people out of work, millions of people out of work, and it's crazy. I haven't done Ain't Got a Dollar yet. Ain't Got a Dollar, I haven't done. Dogging it. I haven't done that. That might be some country stuff right there. Let's see. Is it on his channel? Oh yeah, I want to go home. 61,000 views already in 42 minutes. This guy's hot. He's on fire. How do you get, let's see, I want to see this. How do you get what you want these days? Say, I'm offended. That's right. That's right. That's what you do. All right, let's check this out. Let's check that. Who is leukemia free? Somebody's leukemia. What? You're leukemia free? That's amazing. Creed fan forever. Is that what I'm seeing here? Congratulations. That's amazing. I went to the funeral of a child that passed away from leukemia. 5 years old she was my friend who I worked with's granddaughter. The smallest little coffin ever, man. I've been to 3 children's funerals and they're the worst by far. All right, so while we wait for Ray to come on, he might think we meant 8 Central Time, but that's okay. You guys, we could just hang out and listen to music, I guess. The sound might be a little muffled though, you guys. It's this program we're uploading to do 2 different, it's my upload speed is pretty good, but not enough apparently to have good sound quality. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they fixed it, but who knows? All right, I want to go home. It's only 2 minutes, 55 seconds long. And with Oliver Anthony songs, I let them play through and then I talk about them afterwards because, it's very seldom where you get an artist like this whose songs and lyrics are so profound and so important that you just can't press that pause button. He's basically the only person I've ever done that with. Even with Tom McDonald, I'm granted permission to do Tom McDonald's reactions. Even then, I still pause it, right? But not Oliver. He's something else, I tell you. All right, let's check him out. I want to go home.
Well, if it wasn't for my old dogs and the good Lord, they'd have me strung up in the psych ward. 'Cause every day living in this new world is one too many days to me. Son, we're on the brink of the next world war, and I don't think nobody's praying no more. And I ain't saying I know it for sure. I'm just down on my knees begging the Lord to take me home. I wanna go home. I don't know which road to go. It's been so long. I just know I didn't used to wake up feeling this way, cussing myself every damn day. There's always some kind of bill to pay. People just doing what the rich man say. I wanna go home. Now 4 generations farming the ground. Grandson sells to a man out of town. In 2 weeks
Good dogs right there.
Trees go down. Only got concrete growing around. I wanna go home. I wanna go home. I don't know which road to go. It's been so long. I just know I didn't used to wake up feeling this way, cussing myself every damn day. People have really gone and lost their way. They all just do what the TV say. I wanna go home.
The media too. It's a damn shame.
If it weren't for my old dogs and the good Lord, they'd have me strung up in the psych ward.
That's right. That's right. They'll keep you grounded real quick. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Ooh, that was so good. You know, it's so funny how it's almost like you're losing hope in this country of how do we even like they've removed God from everything. They've banned God in schools. They've tried to take away our faith and our religious freedoms and chastise us, make fun of us, bully us. And it's if it weren't for the faith that we do have and damn those dogs, I'll tell you what, animals sense and they know when you need them the most and they are there. There's nothing more loyal than a dog. I'm sorry. I've been on this earth far too long and I've dealt with far too many people that are just jerks. And dogs have never let me down. So as if it weren't for my dogs and God, I'd be in a psych ward. And it's sad how people listen to everything that they see on the flipping television or whatever comes across their phone. It's like these people today were believing something on what was it, Radar Online, well-known leftist propaganda pusher, anti-Trump propaganda, of course. They actually posted a story of Melania Trump leaving Trump because she fears for Barron's education. And I'm over it. People are like, "Ooh," they're going off. Like the thought of a marriage breaking up, I look at it and I'm going, "Oh man, that's my first reaction." Not and then I was like, besides my first reaction of, "Oh my god, a family is being destroyed." Oh yeah, consider the source. It's fake news. There's these people on that post today that were literally going bananas and going with it, and I'm over here going, these stew nods, man, they are dumb as dog shit. So I had commented, I said, yeah, and I just saw Elvis at the Waffle House too on I-271. It's like these people are, it's very different, or difficult when we have the liberal media that, they own BlackRock, Vanguard, they own all of them. They own huge percentages of CBS, ABC, NBC, CNN, Fox News. They got stake in Google, YouTube. They also got their dirty little claws in Rumble too. And it's like, damn, what hasn't BlackRock and Vanguard sank its dirty little claws in? They literally own everything. It's like we feel again like little ants compared to these people because they have FU money and they can basically do whatever they want to. And, I think Oliver Anthony is so relatable in the sense like it's exactly how I feel, but I think this is a movement at this point in time. I think that the more remixes, the merrier. I know some of you might not feel that way, but I'm begging you to look at it from a different perspective. The more we keep him relevant, the more remixes there are of people sharing their story and their experiences. They're going to see that they're not going to be able to push us around, whether they have billions and trillions of dollars in their bank accounts and we don't. Our voices can be our most brutal weapon. Our common sense and our the fight that we still have left in us. They think that they can break us. They think they can break our nuclear families down. They think that they could take our morals and values away. It's no. Good luck. You got resistance from Antifa. Well, that ain't nothing yet. You ain't seen how us patriots are going to bring back this country. It's like it is in desperate need. This country is flatlined right now, and it needs a little shock. It needs a defibrillation. Shake that thing right back up. But I was just talking with the one of the guys from Tactical Civics, and I told him, I said, look, man, I don't think after watching what's going on with Oliver Anthony now, I don't think people are so afraid to they're not afraid to stand up. Oh, is he here? No, he isn't. He's not logged in yet. He's not logged in yet. I don't see him here at all. Look, he's got to hit the login button. I don't have him here yet. Look. Check it. If I did, I'd be able to hit that button. But anyways, I said to him, you guys, a lot of people are afraid. January 6th was a show of force. It was a stand up for conservatives, stand up for Donald Trump, and we're gonna throw you in prison. And they did. But I think people are like, F it, man. You can't put us all in prison. Good luck. Maybe they can. Always here in chat. Well, how come you're not joining me on the screen, silly? Oh, there you are. Hey, Ray. I sent you the link. Did it work? Is it working? Look at my friend Dorinda's calling me. I don't answer my phone during streams unless it's a kid of mine. That's the only time. Let me make sure I gave you the link. Hold on a second here. I think I did. Yeah, it's right here. Copy the link. Here. I can't send it on. I can't put it on here. So let me send it to you again. Just click the link, paste it. Boop. There you go. Now you can join me. I think I'm like, did I send him the link? I could have not. I could be brain dead. I don't know. It is highly possible. Come on, click that link whenever you can. Yeah, I don't think we are not gonna take it. We're gonna be like Kiss. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. What is it? What happened? YouTube is effing you over, Jen. You used to be on my front page, but now it has not been posting anything from you. Yeah, they typically don't like it when you go against their agendas and you tell people the truth. They would rather hear you bullshitting in line. I got Ray here, the Marine rapper. Let's bring him on in. Hey, I like this one better. Less they could see of this ugly mug.
No. Everything's great over there. It looks super professional over there. I just hung up a whole bunch of flags over here.
Oh, this little thing? No.
I love it. It's radio show. It's really rock star. I love it.
Thank you. I did this. I hung up these. It was like, what is that, wallpaper? It was like a wall mural. It was a mural. I did it all by myself. It was like in 3-foot sections. It was a pain. Stupid windows up there. Oh my God, I had to do radio all over. Oh my, it was terrible, but I did it.
You did. You killed it. That's what you did.
Thank you. So I showed your new John Rich remix of I'm Offended. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Just like a little fun little thing. Because I watched his video and I was like, oh, this is little funny little thing or whatever. And I was just like, since I'm already remixing the other ones, might as well do like a little fun thing. But I love that John Rich record. He's just kind of like being like sarcastic and stuff the whole time. It's just like, if you don't think God exists, why are you offended?
Right. They don't make no damn sense, do they, Ray?
Yeah,
they contradict themselves all the time.
Something like, come on, just make it make sense. And then if it makes sense, then we could have a conversation. But yeah, I appreciate you bearing with me. I was like I was like trying to find the email, and then when you sent it again, then it popped up. I don't know why. It must have went into another folder or something. I don't know, but you did send the link, but I don't know why it didn't show up on mine. But I'm glad that I'm finally here. But Just Jen, right? You'd like to just be called Just Jen?
Just Jen.
Yeah, Just Jen. Okay. I had to say that. I had to say that.
You're funny.
It, but
It's they if you're not on the side of the radical left, they tend to mess with you a little bit on all avenues because again, that whole agenda, the agenda pushers have their claws in everything.
yeah,
It's really crazy. I don't know how we got this far and this fast. I think it has been happening for quite a while, but over the last 2 years, it has really progressed rapidly and rampantly. And it's kind of not making sense to a lot of people. Like, wait, how did we go from, wanting the best for our children, wanting the best education for them to now letting them mutilate themselves and make these life altering decisions when a lot of these people on the left say that kids can't even be held accountable for murder because their brains aren't fully developed at 25. But wait a minute, I'm sorry, you're not
which
making
one's
any
which?
sense, right?
Yeah, you can't drive. You can't drive. You can't smoke. You can't rent a car. Like you can't what? You can't buy a house. There's a lot of stuff that you can't do. So if you can't do none of that, if you can't, like my mom always told me, she's all, for right now, it's my house. You're living underneath my roof. When you get your own house, your own car, can pay your own bills, then you could talk. Until then, you do what I say. So I feel like that should be the blanket statement for everything. Do
I
what you want
think
with it, though, you know?
yeah, absolutely. A lot of us that grew up like that and had discipline, and even if we did come from single parent households, my mom Italian, and you crossed her, and she was like, "So, what size cement shoes do you need for Lake Erie? Let's go." And you're like,
Yeah.
I'm cool on that. I got you, mom. I think a lot of kids today lack discipline. You can't spank your child. You can't discipline your child. I don't put hands on my child anyways. I don't. I threaten to take his shit away or I put him in timeout and he don't like that. It works for me. But a lot of what's going on today, we have to stand up and say something. And I think, I loved when you remixed the Richmond North of Richmond. That was amazing because here I see it immediately, right? I'm like, oh man, when that first sigh you let out, and then you pulled that pink slip out, and I'm like, oh man, I seen it as a positive thing immediately because we need that remix to keep going because it's sharing all kinds of experiences from all walks of life. You're a veteran, correct? Tell us about you.
Correct. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for having me first and foremost. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in, even if you think rap is crap. Uh, I understand how some people might think that, but if you listen to like the best in the game and you listen to their technical ability and you understand like rap, you wouldn't say that because rap is actually a sport. You actually need technical ability as far as like your breath control, you need timing, you need rhythm, you need to be fast. Like if you guys realize he just dropped that remix. So if rap is crap, how did that happen? So I don't think all rap is crap. I think that there's crappy music. There's crappy country music. There's crappy rock music. There's crappy pop music. That's how I feel. But anyways, my name is the Marine Rapper. My government name is Raymond Lott. You can call me, Raymond or Ray, depending on how cool we are. But I served 10 years in the United States Marine Corps as a combat correspondent with infantry battalions in Iraq and Afghanistan. I've been all around the world. I've been to Morocco. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to areas in Europe. I've been all around the world and I've seen a lot of different things. And I was able to live a lot of lifetimes by being a combat journalist with infantry battalion. So if you guys ever seen Full Metal Jacket, there's a character in there. His name was Joker, and what he did was he took pictures and he wrote stories. Matthew Modine, he wrote stories and took pictures of infantry battalions. He would always tell stories of what's going on the battlefield.
it's crazy because when I was trying to find my new calling, my new purpose after I got out of the Marine Corps, because you can't be an active duty Marine forever, I was like, oh, why don't I just keep on telling stories of my heroes? It doesn't matter who it is. I'm going to keep on telling those stories. And I already have those storytelling skills from the military and the Marine Corps. So that's what I do now. I just basically pay it forward and talk about those heroes, because there's been a lot of times when I was over in Iraq and Afghanistan where the IED hit the other truck, or the bullet hit the other person, or somebody else died. And I was like, bro, I'm definitely not Arnold Schwarzenegger out here. I'm definitely not the top soldier out here. Why did I die? And why did he die? Because that guy was the soldier of the year for real. And I struggle with that, with survivor's guilt and stuff like that. But I realized that I had to use my music as like cathartic tool, as well as keep on the memory of all the fallen troops. So you'll always hear me in my songs do some type of either tribute or memorial in my lyrics, talking about those fallen troops or those heroes that I saw overseas. I mean, I've even done like a rap specifically for Marcus Luttrell and his buddies. I've done a lot of different things like that, because I wanted to just carry on the memory of those individuals. Either that, or I talk about the strong women who are behind the strong men. That's why even in the Richmond North of Richmond remix, you heard me. First thing I said, I talked about the women, because people forget
Moms.
about that. The moms, the mothers, the sisters, women like you. Because the thing is like, while we're out trying to hustle, make money, doesn't matter what you do. You could be in the factory like homeboy, you could be farming, you could be entertainment business, whatever you're doing, there's always somebody holding you down, whether it's, financially, with the food, with cleaning the house, with take care of the kids, whatever she is doing, she's taking that weight off of you so you can relax and have more time to, hustle and make money and provide and protect your household. So we always have to remember that we have to show love to those individuals like that, because I had a single mom growing up as well. And we probably grew up in different type of, cultures and stuff. You said Italian, I grew up, black household and stuff like that. We had different cultures and stuff, but so we have that similarities in those parallels of having a strong woman really protecting us and taking care of us. So I always give a shout out to them. So I always wanted to do that. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Marine Corps combat veteran turned rapper. I did a Let's Go Brandon. I've been on the Billboard charts. I've been, um, all around, all types of charts, and did a whole bunch of different stuff. But my main thing is that I want to bring focus to the heroes and the strong people behind them, like the families and the women, especially during this time where it's going to be the 2-year anniversary of the Afghanistan pullout with the Fallen 13. So we definitely want to, touch on that if we can.
Absolutely. I think that's real important. I want to, I commend you first of all when you're telling me your story, because I listened to some of your music, and Glory is such a beautiful track that you wrote. It's heavenly. It's
Thank you.
very, very, very beautiful. You're welcome. And seeing that you're a combat veteran and you got to do combat journalism like Joker in Full Metal Jacket. Love that movie. It is so like intense. It's I think one of the most realistic movies that we have to date, and it's just a classic. It's the survivor's guilt that you have. I felt just empathy immediately, because that is, people don't understand what these veterans have gone through overseas, over in the Middle East, whether it be my dad, combat vet, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, Afghanistan. And, a lot of people don't get to see that, and don't get to have that appreciation for our soldiers, our veterans, our combat veterans, especially. You're seeing things that they would only imagine or see on a video game.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people that do make it back, they have a lot of psychological damages before look what you guys have been through.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing people getting killed, and you're like, wait a minute, how come it wasn't me? How come he got brought home in a body bag, and I
Yeah.
didn't, because it wasn't God's plan for you to get killed. But it's so it's so hard for people to express that, and or it's easy for them to say, but for you to absorb it and to actually say, you know what, you're right, it's very difficult because you have that immense survivor's guilt, and it's people are so terrible to veterans, and this country especially is terrible to veterans. And I don't find it funny. I don't find any people who make fun of veterans funny at all. In fact, it irritates me to my core.
Yeah.
I grew up in a suburb of Cleveland, so it was a predominantly black neighborhood that I grew up in. It was just me and one other girl named Jenny, and she was an Irish she was Irish family. We were the Italian, and she was the biggest asshole I think I've ever met, and never like I hate the word Jenny to this day, except Forrest Gump. But
Oh, so you guys weren't friends?
nah, hell no.
Oh.
She was mean. I didn't like her. She had that real bright orange hair, and she was just very crude and just, I don't know.
Real
But
Irish. Definitely.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, we did not get along, so we eventually we moved out to the suburbs again and got out of Maple Heights, it's called. And it's so funny because I met another rapper from YouTube, and he was from Maple Heights too, and we were chopping it up like about our neighborhood that we
Yeah.
grew up in, and it was like such a small world. The world is such a small world. But I think our generation, we're not soft, we're not, I don't know if it's undiagnosed mental illness, if it's in the water, if it's in the environment. I don't know what the root cause of these kids today that are so confused. They have this mental illness that is being enabled and comforted with cuddled with a bunch of lies and what I don't know, but it's nothing like we grew up, and
True.
we're more solid people, and that I just I can't relate to these kids today. I look at them and I'm going, oh, wait, so you're calling us mothers chest feeders, breeders, egg producers, right?
Yeah.
Egg producers is what got me recently, and I'm
Oh,
going,
is that the new one? I haven't heard that one. Egg producers?
yeah, Rachel Levine, the admiral that for the Biden administration.
Is that the trans, right?
Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire, the bootleg version of Mrs.
He said
Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
If I see a picture, if I show you a picture, there's some video that I saw. Those stockings that Robin Williams wore for the
Yeah.
movie. They're like real thick
And rolled over with the hair going through it.
Yeah, that's exactly what Rachel Levine looked like in the picture. And I was like, oh my God, that's like Mrs. Dow. I lost it. I spit my coffee out and everything. But Ray, let me now this admiral, because I won't say she, because that's a man, and this man also got Woman of the Year, right? And so he goes to a LGBTQ place in Alaska. Like, I'm going, and all these people are white, they're liberal. There's no Inuit people, there's no indigenous people in this place at all. It's all white liberals. And I'm like, oh, so you go to the LGBTQ and it's all white liberals. There's no indigenous people at all.
Exactly.
And so they refer to mothers as egg producers. But wait,
Wow.
if men can get pregnant, how can they? Because they don't produce eggs, only women do. So there goes your argument. It's, how did we get here? I just don't
I don't know.
understand.
I mean, I feel like a lot of it is social media. I feel like social media is meant to be a tool. And unfortunately, people don't know that they're supposed to use that instead of let it use them. And when you let it use you, you let whatever the social media platform says get inside your head. It's crazy because we have a term in the Marine Corps. I don't know if you heard it from, you said your grandpa in Vietnam.
My dad, yeah.
Oh, your dad. Okay, in Vietnam. Yeah, we have a term called jarhead. Like, it's like unscrew your head and put whatever in it, and that's why they call Marines jarheads, because it's like we do whatever, we're down to fight or whatever. But it really seems like a lot of this new generation is a whole bunch of jarheads where they just like unscrew their head, put whatever they want to put in there, and then screw it back on. It's like they don't want to do their research, they don't want to learn anything, because like when we were growing up, we had to go to the library. You know what I mean? If we wanted to learn something, you had to go to the library. You have to really dig in there and read it, or really look something up, instead of seeing an influencer say something and then you just believe it as like it's gospel or whatever. Like me, I always look up things before I do it. Like I know you spoke about speaking of gospel, you spoke about my song Glory. My song Glory is on my album called Memorial Day. And my album Memorial Day is basically a nod to a whole bunch of different things, but mainly the movie Glory. I don't know if you ever seen that movie.
Oh yeah.
So if you look at it, the hoodie that I'm wearing is like a custom hoodie, but it looks like the black soldiers who ended up getting recruited by the Union, and then that famous unit who fought, on that hill during Glory, and the guy who held the flag.
Now I see it now.
So that's why I'm holding the flag. That's literally Sergeant Carney. That's why I'm holding the flag, and he was the medal one of the first Medal of Honors, but he's holding the flag. And the thing is, his job was to hold the flag and to charge in front of the unit and keep charging regardless. So he was getting shot holding the flag, leading that unit into like danger. Like what type of like spirit, what type of bravery it takes to do that, you know what I mean? Glory in that whole album Memorial Day is inspired by that unit, the 54th.
That's an epic movie. That's classic. Oh my God.
So there's always Easter eggs within my music. I always do my research. I always do all of that because I feel like there's a lot of people who don't know the meaning of what Sergeant Carney did in holding a flag. Oh, he just held the flag. No, you don't understand. He went and he held the flag and he led the charge and he protected many people, not just the black soldiers. He protected the white commander. He protected everybody who was in that unit, and he literally took bullets for everybody. And because of that, the commander was able to come back and tell that story. And if it wasn't for him, because he's the one who actually took all the bullets. So it's just like people, when you learn your history, you're like, wow, there's some great heroes out there, regardless of where they came from, regardless of their color. And if we knew that today, then we wouldn't do the same thing. It's kind of crazy. Like now they want to segregate graduations. And I'm like, did you guys, I was like, did nobody open up a book? Because they were doing that to our parents back in the day. They're doing that to our parents, trying to segregate the white and the black colleges, graduations, water fountains, bathrooms, you name it, trying to segregate every busing. Speaking of, Biden made it really hard for black people to go to school because we had to walk. But anyway, that's another story.
That's bullshit. You know why? Because his kid got to go to whatever private school he wanted to. But any man who can deny a child a better education simply because of their skin color is a devil. I don't care what anybody says. That is one of my main reasons for my disdain for him. Like, how dare you deny a child you are a special type of evil, Joe Biden.
That's why I was going to school in LA for music production because I produce all my music as well. But I was going to school there, and then everybody was asking me, because I always wear like my flag jacket and stuff. I'm not wearing it now because I didn't want to disappear in the background, but I always wear my flag jacket and the patriotic gear and stuff. And they're like, hey, as a black man, they always have to lead with that. And I'm like, what? Why can't I be an American like every other country does? But anyways, because when you go to other countries, if you're French, you're French. If you're Brazilian, you're Brazilian. If you're, you're German, you're German. You're not a black French. You're not a black Brazilian. Or white French. You're not. You know what I'm saying? So it's so ridiculous the way they do that. But old black man, he's like, they're gonna want to kill you, right? They're gonna want to kill you because the worst thing in America is an educated black man.
Of course,
they said an educated black man is the worst thing because an educated black man is going to want to gather more knowledge, is going to not want to break up property, is not going to want to vandalize, is going to want to build, is going to want to generate wealth, is going to want to generate generational wealth. It's going to want to teach people. And that person is the enemy, because if they can't hold down the minority and black community, which you said you grew up in, if they can't hold them down and put Planned Parenthoods, Popeyes, liquor stores. If you can't surround them with that and they don't have those blocks, then they go, oh, okay, well, I actually am worth something and I don't have to kill myself in my own community and stay here and feed off of the government. Then Black people don't need you, Joe Biden. And if we don't need you, guess what? You're gone. And that's why they don't like somebody like me telling them, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. They are just trying to use you. And what happened? They got used. You even have, I don't know if you know, there was a song called F Donald Trump by a rapper, YG. YG, that rapper, that gangster rapper. I don't know if you know this, but now he's saying he's voting for Trump.
Yeah, I saw
because that. he said, he's all, you guys can say what you want, but Biden didn't do nothing for the hood. He did nothing. He's all Trump. He hooked us up. He got us paid. So I'm going with Trump. I was like, I've been trying to tell you guys that before, but I was the black sheep. I was the crazy one. I was the sellout back then when I was the early one saying it. You guys were saying I was the sellout. I'm whitewashed. I'm Uncle Tom, all that. But now you guys see what's happening. I knew my history. I looked into Biden. I looked into Trump. I saw what Biden did. Everything Biden did was hold down black people, hold down minorities. I looked at what Trump did. He funded black businesses. He helped out black people. You look at the pictures that he took back in the day. He has more pictures with black people than anything. Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jackson. I'm like, how is he racist now? All these rap songs about Trump. Everybody was rapping about Trump. So everybody's like, yo, I want to get money like Trump. He's a hustler, this and that. So why the certain switch? Why did you guys change? Why would you ever want to be dependent so much on somebody else and stay in the same place that you're in? My mom raised me. She was like, I want you to get out the hood. Why would you ever want to stay here? Get out of it. Because I was raised off of welfare, Section 8, government cheese, all these things. And my mom was like, this is temporary. This is a stepping stone. We're doing it because she had 5 kids. She's like, hey, listen, this stepping stone, this ain't what you need to be used to. This is, hey, I just need to do this to get my money straight, my money together. And she did. She got her job and everything. She got everything together. And she's like, that's why I always bring up my mom and my music and stuff. And she taught us to not be dependent, to go get it. Now you got me, war vet. My brother's a doctor. And that means a lot. Like, I love that dude. It means a lot because we were doing homework in the dark because we had to decide over water, or like how I was saying, water or lights or whatever. And he was doing homework under candlelight. And now he's a doctor, which is like, wow. But he's not supposed to do that in America. He's supposed to be a victim. He's supposed to be oppressed. Where? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's just so ridiculous that the kids these days aren't digging in the history books for themselves, aren't looking at these individuals before they cast their vote. This is my point. They're not looking into Trump. They're not looking into BLM. They're not looking into Biden. That's what I did. I said, hey, you know what? I want to look into all these individuals. Let me not just get offended because he said you ain't black. I didn't like that, but I said, let me look into it. And I said, first you insult my culture, and then you insult multiple black people throughout your history. Then you want to lock up black people. Then you don't have the same treatment for your son when he has crack on him. Then you make black people walk to school. Then you just call us all types of N-words throughout the whole history. Then you try to
years do a eulogy for a eulogy for a Klansman, called him a great guy. Yeah.
Are you serious? So I looked into this history. Now, don't get it twisted. Trump didn't grow up as a young black man or impoverished or something like that. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, if we're putting them head to head, like, there's a track record there and nobody's looking at that track record. Like, come on, like, seriously, like let's be honest here. But like, nobody wants to do it because it's like a trend. And then, like, even when I looked into BLM, I said, wait a minute, let me look into BLM. I do agree with the statement. Yeah, Black Lives Matter or whatever. I agree with that statement. Yeah. But let me look into it. I looked into it and I was like, oh my gosh, oh no, this ain't right. Because the thing is people don't realize is when you look back in history, which I do, I look back in history and I said, wow, when was the black community doing the best? There's a time people might not know about this, guys, but Black Wall Street, there's a thing called Black Wall Street, guys. Mm-hmm. Anytime we were doing this Black Wall Street, black people were doing good. What happened? That got destroyed. Another time in the 60s, you ever wonder why a lot of black folks are wearing suits and looking good and our families are good and like very affluent, and the black family was actually the most together at that time, and the government saw that and said, "Hey, what can we do? Let's
Single
introduce
motherhood rate.
let's
Welfare.
lock black folks up. Let's stretch them out, leave single mothers. Oh, how can we also control them? Let's put
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood, but
Highway
drugs,
rake. Yeah,
but
highway rake.
drugs
Come on.
too.
Yeah,
So that
crack.
so there's so many different things. The way they destructed the black nuclear family. I'm making a point here. I'm gonna get to it. Black nuclear family. Then I look into BLM. It says we aren't the traditional nuclear family. No. And then you have Patrice Cullors,
Oy, oy, oy.
who doesn't even believe in the black family at all, and no conventional black family. And then you are saying, "Oh yeah, I'm for black folks. I'm for black folks." You're not living nowhere near black folks.
Nope. You know what Jesse Lee Peterson said about BLM? Have you seen that? I got him to say it. I had him
what
on
is it?
Jesse Lee Peterson. Now he is he's a pastor, but he has a big YouTube following. He's very, very well known online, and oh gosh, do they hate him because he does not play with the victimhood mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan Freeman doesn't either. Samuel L.
doesn't.
Jackson doesn't. Little Wayne doesn't. A lot of people today are stepping up and saying, dude, we're not oppressed. You know, you're in America. Hello, you can be whatever you want to be. But Jesse Lee Peterson, he was on Rashad Ritchie, Dr. Rashad Ritchie's The Young Turks. And he goes, do you believe in BLM? And he goes, BLM is a bunch of black, fat lesbians who don't... And Rashad Ritchie kicked him off, and he's black himself, right? Jesse Lee Peterson is black. So they want black people to have that victimhood mentality. And you're right. An educated, stand-up black person who doesn't not want to be held down in the hood, doesn't want to be on welfare. That is public enemy number one to the Democrats, because they want you on that Democrat plantation still. People of color. I don't like that term. I'm sorry. It's
I hate it.
Another term, right? For colored. And I'm over here going,
nothing has changed. You get it.
Well, I grew up around black folks. Nothing has changed.
So you know what I'm saying. It's like they're trying to take us backwards. It sounds like colored. It sounds like segregation. It sounds like racism, and everything is so racial. And I'm like, why is everything so racial? Like when I meet somebody, it's either I like you or I don't. I don't care what you are, what you look like. If it's either I like you or I don't, and then we could be friends or we can't, and then I go from there. And I learned a lot from being around the world, and even the Marine Corps. I met like some of the best people I've met are like some white country boys that I met in the Marine Corps that introduced me to country music. Like, you know what I mean? And we didn't talk about that. We didn't think about that once. Want to know why? Because the only thing I cared about when I was overseas was, can you shoot?
You're right.
Can you shoot? Like, that's it. Can you shoot? I don't care if you're white. Like,
right. You know, when you were talking about glory, you know, and back then, right? It was a brotherhood. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, if you're from who cares? It doesn't even matter, as long as you guys have each other's backs to get everybody home, you know. And they don't want that today. It's like, you're right. Race has to come up in everything, you know, and it's like, wait a second. We're all Americans. We were born here. I can't even say I'm Italian American. I could say I have Italian heritage because my great grandmother came over from Italy, but I was born on U.S. soil. We are all Americans. And for them to do that, to segregate today, everybody that fought, white and black alike, that fought to end segregation, Rosa Parks, everybody who was instrumental in the freaking civil rights movement, it is spitting in the faces of all of these people. Dr. Martin Luther King. In every city like Cleveland, every major city has a Martin Luther King Boulevard. You know, it's like, wait a minute. You're tearing down historical statues. We are trying to erase history because why? We progressed since then? Is that why you want to delete history? It's happened. You can't erase it. We don't have to glorify it, but we have to know history, even if it's bloody, if it's bad, so we don't repeat the same mistakes twice. And when you said that there was segregated graduations again, I'm over here going, that is sad. That is absolutely sad. And it's horrific for the kids that grow up and don't see color. They're going to learn that where? On social media? in schools, I told my teacher, my son's teacher today, I met him today. He's going into kindergarten, and there's a little survey. What do we like? What do we need to know about Roman? And I said, well, he's in a Christian home. Number one. Number two, he doesn't see color. Don't teach him that. Number three, number three, he knows he's a boy and he knows he cannot change that gender. He doesn't know about sexuality because he's 5. He shouldn't know about anything sexuality. And I said, thank you very much for respecting my parental rights in education. And when I brought it up to the teacher today, she kind of looked shocked, like, yes, I said that exactly, because
Yep.
my son doesn't see color. He walks up to anybody. He doesn't care what you look like, and you ain't gonna point that out to him either. Because if you do, we're gonna have a parent teacher conference. I think a lot of people have to stand up and say, enough. This is it.
Have you seen that video of I think it was like in New York or a big city. It was 2 kids about, like how you said, like probably like your kid's age, like 5 or something. There was one white and one black, and they're running down the street towards each other, and they're like, my friend, and they hug each other. It was like such a beautiful moment. But
I haven't seen it, but that is beautiful because kids don't see that
they
shit.
don't see it. They don't care. It's either you guys are friends or not, so they're running down the street and they like hug each other. And I mean, it's like a meaningful hug, and it's just like, wow, it's like shame on us adults for getting so far away from that. You know what I mean? So far away from that embrace. And I don't like it. It's just so ridiculous. And it's just like, why are we perpetuating that and adding this distraction from what actually is the enemy? They're elites and stuff, they're looking down at us and like laughing. They're like, they're distracted about this race thing. It's hilarious.
Yep. Because yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's distraction from human trafficking, from children being pedophiles and everything else like that. And it's like, wait a second here. Why are we focused on something nobody has a say so in? We can't change the fact what we were born as. All we can do is make sure that we grow up to be good people with good, strong morals and values and brotherly love, loving thy neighbor, no matter what somebody looks like. No, they don't want that. They don't want that, because the more united we are, the bigger the threat that we are. Just like they don't want the Black community to rise up. That's exactly, when you said Planned Parenthoods and Popeyes, that's exactly what they want to do, because the most dangerous place for a Black child is in its mother's womb. And that shouldn't even be a damn thing. 500,000 babies per year. Come on. No, and what people don't understand is that could be the next president, that could be the next congresswoman, that could be the next leader that gets us farther in life. But the next basketball star, the next rap star, the next country star, you don't know.
Yep.
And it's really messed up, the world is. But I think a lot of people are starting to wake up, and it is a beautiful thing, because like you just said, we got all of these rappers who were on the Trump train, and now they're all starting to wake up. Because I had Representative Misha Maynor on. She's from Georgia, and she ran Democrat. And I was on Twitter, and I just, her feed came up, and she had switched. She was elected Democrat, but she had switched Republican, like probably a couple months in. She has as a state rep, she has a page that you can, say how she's like, how could I help the community? And her number one is education, where kids should be able to go to whatever school they want to, because of the busing kids problem with Biden. And why deny a child education? Why? Because you don't want an educated Black child. You don't want an educated Black child to turn into an educated Black adult so they can stand up against your victimhood mentality, right? You don't want them to have them skills. So she's really big on that, and she's anti-defunding the police. And so when she switched parties, like Donald Trump, you were asking, when did this all, like, what happened? He has been photographed the most. I remember when 50 Cent and everybody, that is how they knew they had made it in the game, because they got photographed with Donald Trump. That was every rapper's aspirations in the 90s. And when we had rappers in the 90s like Tupac and Biggie and all of the P. Diddy had just started, and they were all aspiring. They were all photographed with Donald Trump. But it was when when he ran as a Republican and came out and said, "I'm running Republican, not Democrat." That is when they flipped and turned their backs on him, and all of a sudden he became the racist. But everything he's done his entire life was just like vanished. Like you said, he did help people start their
Yep.
businesses when the banks wouldn't give black folks their loan.
He did.
He did. Oh, I think a bunch of people, maybe 6 or 7 people, and then when it come down time to paying him back, he said,
He said,
"Good
keep
luck."
it.
Right, he did.
Yeah, yeah. He said, keep it. Like, it's one of the guys that I really respect. I mean, that still has his back is Dana White from UFC.
Mike Tyson too.
And Mike Tyson, because Dana White talked, because people go, why do you still rock with Trump? He's like, well, you guys don't understand. Like, when nobody would rock with UFC, he was rocking with us. He would always have our backs. And I love that Dana White just says, you guys can think whatever you want, but I'm not going to abandon my friend, because they're friends and stuff like that. But just like, I feel like it doesn't have anything to do with, Dana White's a white dude. It doesn't have anything to do with like the race thing. It's just like, it feels like a lot of people abandoned him, which is messed up.
It really is. It really is, because I grew up, knowing that, hey, this is one of the richest men in the world, but there was never anything bad said about him. And all of a sudden, when he announced Republican, all of a sudden he's a womanizer. All of a sudden he's a rapist. All this, I'm like, dude, first of all, if you guys think for 1 second that these women like Stormy Daniels aren't freely throwing themselves at a billionaire, you got like fucked up. Sorry,
Yeah.
not sorry.
Yeah. No, it's true, because though men, women, everybody wanted his attention, and now they're trying to find a way to twist it. And it's just like, yo, like, why were you even there? How did that even happen? Because if you said that happened, how'd you even get there? Like, because he stays where he's at, you came to him. So
Exactly.
I don't buy none of that. I'm not, who knows? I mean, regardless, that's his business. That's his grown folks' business. But I just don't feel like any of that was just like, oh, now it's his fault, but it wasn't his fault back then. Like, either it is or it isn't.
It's so crazy. What do you feel about these indictments in Georgia? What is your take on it? And then after you're done, I'll tell you what mine is. Let's see if we agree on this one, because we seem to be hitting it like we're on the same page here.
I just think I think the indictments for Trump in Georgia are just another delay, another distraction, another way to kind of like mentally and physically take him out of the game in certain areas that he needs to be and stuff like that. But it's crazy and ironic, because they don't know they're like making a martyr right now. They're like, keep on making a martyr. And when they drop that like mug shot, they better not drop that mug shot. They better not take one picture of him, because if they drop a mug shot, it's game over. It's already game over, because a lot of people, even though they may not be vocal as you and me, I know a lot of people were like, you know what, I rock with Trump now, or Biden didn't do anything for me. Like, I'm not brave enough to say anything online, but I am voting for Trump. It's going to be monumental come election season, and it's going to be monumental. But I just feel like these are all distractions and all delays and all psychological. In the military, we call it psychological operations. And it's all psychological operations where you do different like little things to distract the masses from what actually is going on, and try to like destroy his character and his image and visibility, which is crazy. But because they're not going to do that. If they can make an unknown guy from an Appalachian singer beat out every single music artist ever in history and become #1 on the Hot Billboard 100, when your artist has billions of dollars behind them. I'm talking about Taylor Swift types, and he beat out everybody and still beating out every single one. And that is the person they're getting behind. What do you think the sentiment of America right now is? It's that. And I'm pretty sure most of the people who bought his song and downloaded his song are probably going to vote for Trump. I would put money on that. So those are my thoughts. It's all distractions.
Yeah, I think you're 100% correct. I think you're right with the psychological operation. I like psychological warfare, trying to break down his spirit, because he's such a gung-ho person. He can handle a lot. He's had a lot thrown at him. He's had death threats on Twitter. He's had rappers, Snoop Dogg pretending to kill. They had a fake Trump, and he killed him in the video. But if we just had a guy in Utah, 70-something-year-old man killed, who needed a walker to walk, but he threatened Biden, which I think is very stupid to do. You don't threaten the president, no matter who they are, and as much as you don't like them, you just can't do that. But you also doesn't give you the right to go in and shoot the man, right? But I think he has had so many death threats, so many people talking so much crazy shit, but nobody
Yeah.
gets in trouble for that. Absolutely not. Do you know what the whole indictment is about? This is crazy. It is his Twitter page, his tweets asking to check the validity of the election of the account, and he called a, I don't know, some guy in Georgia, I forget, Rassensberger or something, and he asked him, hey, listen, where are the 11,870 votes? Where are they? The transcript totally debunks what they are saying as far as the charges, and they literally charged him with the RICO Act, which is organized crime, what they use to take down the mob, what they use to take down cartels and gang affiliates.
Who is he racketeering with?
Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, all these fucking old ass dudes, like, oh, they're
What are
so
they?
fucking gangster. They're throwing up their gang signs up in,
I can't
right?
even see that. That's hilarious. No way.
No, you see how Trump dances, like that's, yeah, yes, it's goofy. And I'm going, wait, the transcripts are saying absolutely opposite of what these indictments are saying. And then the whole clerk of courts mistakenly hits send instead of save and produces the exact indictment before the grand jury even convened to announce the charges. And it was exactly the same charges that were leaked. Also, the district attorney Fanny, I call her Fat Fanny, because you're not going to be called Fawny on my watch. You're Fanny, and own it. I had an Aunt Fanny, so and she comes on first and says, well, we were hacked. Oh no, first it was fake. That is fake news. Then, oh, when questioned, hey, so how come it says the clerk of courts here?
Yeah.
Oh, we were hacked. And then now it's clerical error. I meant to hit save, but I hit send, and then she's coming on. She did a press briefing at midnight saying, I'm going to make sure this is in an arena. I'm going to make sure it's the most televised in all history. Basically, it's a kangaroo court, and
Yeah.
he was granted immunity, presidential immunity. And what they're trying to get him for is all election fraud and do this. No, he has rights. Obama said illegitimate president. Hillary Clinton said he was an illegitimate president.
Yeah.
Said that he cheated the election with Russian collusion and all this,
Yeah.
and they were not charged at all. But he can't say that when he has political speech, which is the most protected speech. He has the presidential, I think is the presidential Records Act, where he was allowed to take documents, and he didn't give them back. No, he I don't even know what the whole thing behind that part is, but he had it all there. He was participating in, he was cooperating with the FBI, but they're so weaponized today with DOJ and FBI. We have the whistleblowers coming on, going anything and everything that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden is doing, and Hillary and Obama and all of these Democrats, what they have done, they're charging Trump with. And
Ridiculous.
it really is, when Hunter Biden can literally leave blow,
Wow.
like in your
Wow.
in your new video, the John Rich video that I'm
That's why I
offended.
said that. Yeah.
I was cracking up because I watched it a couple times before I started the stream, and I was dying, because if that was Eric or Don Jr., and if it was Ivanka, if it was Tiffany, if it was any of the Trump kids,
Oh no.
you know damn well that we would never hear the end of it. Every media, it would be on every front news of every newspaper from sea to shining sea. And
Absolutely.
oh goodness gracious. And wait, he wasn't there. Karine Jean-Pierre, he wasn't there. And I'm going, yeah, he was. We just saw him over 4th of July weekend. Karine, why are you? I just think the lying and it's gotten
It's so
so
crazy.
bad. Yeah, they can lie And they know that they're lying, and they know that we know that they're lying,
Yep.
and they still continue to act like we're a bunch of stupids. But and this is again why they want us all racially divided.
Yep.
And it's like, if people, that ain't going to work forever. People are
Nope.
not going to do, they're not going to see that there is a difference in there's no difference in us. We all bleed red.
Yep.
Everybody is an American. And when, I don't know how old you are, but I'm probably a little bit older than you are. But I remember 9/11. Did you hear what happened today? What Biden did today?
No, what happened?
Oh, Lord. Joe Biden, and this is tragic. The Biden administration just announced that they are giving a plea deal. They sent letters to every victim whose family member died in 9/11, over
Yeah.
3,000 people's
Uh-huh.
family. They're giving all of the terrorist plea deals after all this time.
Please.
Yeah, like a prole plea deal. Like, they're gonna get out of prison. All of these terrorists who terrorized our country and were supposedly involved with the 9/11 terror attacks. They're letting them out of jail.
Nah, if you're involved with it and you were locked up and you're getting a plea deal, like no, that's saying that you were guilty too as well. No, just
Yeah.
no.
So the Biden administration just sent out mass letters to every victim's family saying that we're gonna give them freedom, give their freedom back.
So when are our people going to get our freedom?
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? Like, were you going to let everybody out who you locked up for weed?
Yeah.
Like you good? I'm trying to say all those fathers that you took from mothers and wives and all that stuff. Are you going to let those folks out because that's what you did? But no, you don't want to do that because if you do that, you're gonna have people less dependent, and you're gonna not get that vote. That's horrible. That's horrible. So you'd rather do that. That's so wild. That's
Yeah.
so wild.
It's really bad. It's in the whole Maui thing. I live in by Cleveland, so East Palestine is only a
Yeah.
couple of hours from me. He never even showed up for that. We got Pete Booty Judge. I call him Booty Judge. We got him about, I think it was 18 days after he came, and he was just a flyover basically. Trump did come. Benny Johnson came and got FEMA to because first FEMA wasn't going to help the people of
Yeah.
East Palestine. They were given, I think it was crazy because they were given, I believe, $1,000 a piece by FEMA, and only after Trump came did they do that. Biden wouldn't push it at all. He said no, and FEMA's like, no, it's not a natural disaster. But like 7 train derailments from the same company happened. Like, we had 2 in Ohio. They were all over this country, and then the wildfires start in Canada, and then the wildfires start over in Maui, and it's just like they want to blame it on the global warming and the climate crisis. They have to have these agendas and these lies to keep them alive, and they will do anything. It doesn't matter if they have to take people out, little kids. It doesn't matter to push that agenda, that narrative. They will kill people over it.
From the didn't Hillary put out a tweet saying like, is it hot enough yet? So basically blaming global warming on Republicans and conservatives.
Oh yeah. That's when I
How
posted
smart
it.
is
I
what?
posted a, I posted a picture of me in a Trump bikini. I said,
You're like, oh yeah, it is hot.
I said, shut up, Hillary. You're just mad. I'll never forget when she went on the Breakfast Club, right? I'll never forget this. And I forget who asked her, but he goes, what do you have in, if this was during campaign
Yeah.
time, right? And, oh, what do you have in your, what do you carry around in your purse? What does Hillary Clinton always carry? And she looks at him, she goes,
Hot sauce, right?
hot sauce. And I was like, I call one of my girlfriends who I have grown up with all of my life. We went to prison. We were in prison together and whatnot. Yeah. And I'm like, bitch, when's the last time you put hot sauce in your purse? And she's like, don't we just ask the waitress for hot sauce every time? And we're
Are
like,
you serious?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that's ridiculous. It's so
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like, why would you,
pandering?
No, they just do it so hard. And I'm just like, no, black people don't say that or think like that. And being in the black neighborhood, like we don't What are you talking about? Like they try to put this you know what the thing is too? People don't realize what's happening, but because I know my history, I know what's happening, especially with, people are worrying about, oh, this white person doing blackface and this white person doing blackface. No, 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 no. Look at the real blackface that's happening. That hot sauce was blackface.
She might as well have pulled out watermelon and fried chicken in that damn purse. That's what she should have done to perpetuate the stereotype even more than she did that
Matter of
day.
fact, I wish she should have because I would have been like, hey, let me get some of that because fried chicken and watermelon is delicious. Oh my God, man. Isn't it though, man? It is delicious though. Nobody can lie about that. Southern food is delicious though. That's why they try to monetize it. Anyways, but like the hot sauce is a blackface. Kamala changing her dialect when she goes to a black college is blackface. You know what I mean?
AOC too.
AOC, yo, that's blackface. Biden saying you ain't black. Like they don't understand. When I look at Biden say you ain't black like that way, it reminds me of. Have you ever heard of minstrel shows? Do you know what that is? A minstrel show when when the white people would wear the blackface and the gloves and stuff.
Yeah, it was old school.
Yeah, old school stuff.
Yeah,
that people they're not smart enough to discern that they're getting played. They're getting played right now, and they're not seeing they're getting pandered to, they're getting played. They're not seeing that it's the same thing, just a different flavor on top of it. It's the same thing. It's still segregation, it's still blackface, it's still minstrel show, it's still discrimination, but it's being done by those individuals who are saying that they're not doing it. And it's just like, what are you serious right now? Like, come on.
Donald Trump did something. Right?
I'm like, Donald Trump didn't do anything. Actually, Donald Trump, this is a little known fact. So like after,
are you gonna say Palm Beach?
No. I mean, this is a good one.
You go.
No. I go. So Biden said that you ain't black comment, and I had enough right by that point because I researched him and I said, how is a white man going to get on internet right now and tell me that my culture is invalid if I do not vote for this guy? So at that point, I knew I would never vote for him.
So so for all the people that did not vote for Biden, you're not black no more.
I'm not black anymore.
You're not black anymore. Yeah, that's what Larry Elder just brought up to Charlemagne
on the Breakfast Club. Yeah.
Yes.
He brought it back up. He said, "You let him say that to you?" He's like because he said you should have had a wake up moment. He said you should have had a wake up moment. He said that to Larry Elder. He said I should have had a wake up moment. He's all, you let that white man come on your show and disrespect you. You should have woke up right there, and you just let him say that to you in your face. You let that white man come up on there and say that to you, and you didn't say anything. So if anybody should have had a wake up moment, it was you. You're the one who looked like the slave, and he was the slave master. And you let him say that to you and tell you that your culture is invalid. And Larry Elder hit him with the complete fire. I loved it. But what I was gonna say when he said that, I went viral for the first time because I did a Biden diss. And it was just me. And my raps are like sarcastic. You have to look it up. My raps are very sarcastic. So I said, I started to float. Like, I don't know if you sing Ghost Dad, because I feel like you're in my same generation.
Oh yeah, Bill Cosby. Come on.
But Jen, black don't crack, so we're closer in age than you think. But anyway, I was acting like Bill Cosby, Ghost Dad, like I was a ghost floating out my body, and I said the blackness is leaving my body. And then so I'm rapping this, and I was like, where can I turn in this black card, Joe Biden? And I was just saying all these black things or whatever. But anyways, I did this rap and it went viral. And then Trump, one of his last tweets was tweeting me. So Trump is the one who made me viral, actually. So he made me into a viral rapper, basically. So I owe a lot to Trump, and it was dope. And then one of my first interviews was with Laura Trump, actually. It was dope. But look it up. It's I don't know how they worded it because it depends on what platform. A lot of the black outlets would say, "Oh, a Trump rapper" or whatever. But if you can't find it, I'll send it to you. But it's a dope rap. I dissed Biden really hard.
What was it called?
Biden diss. I don't know if it's
Marine rapper Biden diss.
Yeah, you should be able to find it.
That's amazing. That is so cool.
But yeah, Trump shared it, and then so I went viral because of him. So like when somebody says something,
Hunter Biden guilty. Yeah, he is. I got it. Joe Biden did. This is 3 years ago.
Oh, you found it? Okay.
Torchify has got it. Go to bed, you. Grandma wants you.
I love it.
All
I
right.
have a kid too. I get it.
How old is you have a daughter, right?
Yeah,
How old?
17.
Really?
Black don't crack. I told you.
I know, but you don't look old enough to have a 17-year-old. My goodness. I love your Doberman though. What a beautiful dog.
Thank you.
I have a Rottweiler and all black
You have a what?
a Rottweiler.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and an all black German Shepherd. She is like this beautiful, magnificent beast, and she's the best dog ever.
How tall are you?
How tall do you think I am?
5'2" or 5'1".
Yeah.
I knew it. I was like, you seem like a ball of fire, and then you just show up with this big dog.
I'm like a chihuahua, but I'll tell you what, I throw down. I'll throw down.
I sense that from you. I'm like, man, she has to be like 5'1", 5'2".
I am, but I'm as strong as an ox, man. I'll tell you what, man. If I'm going, I'm going. There ain't no stopping me. And I tell you what, I have thick thighs, so I can plant them in. Let's go. You know. I found the disc though. I want.
Oh, you did find it?
Yeah, but it's so crazy because we were talking about Black Wall Street, and he specifically said, "I'm going to put y'all back. They're going to put y'all back in chains." When he said that, I went like this. Did he just? It's so crazy because me coming from Cleveland, if you try that shit, you are getting your ass handed to you.
Yes.
I can't even. I'm over here going, how does this motherfucker keep getting away with everything that he is saying?
And then when there's somebody to call it out, they tell the white person. This is what they do, and I know you probably see this. They tell another white liberal to tell a black guy like me that I'm wrong, and also all the white. Have you ever seen that too? And the thing is like that's why they killed Malcolm X, because Malcolm X kept warning, hey, that white liberal man, stay away from
white liberals. I'm like, I'm conservative. We would have had a good old time.
And I loved it. He was straight up. He told him right to his face. He's like, yup, I said that. Yeah. White liberal, like straight to his face too. I was like, wow. He was like, and so like Malcolm X has been saying that. There's been lots of people been saying it, but for some reason they're not listening.
Oh no, absolutely not. It's remarkable how people have gone from, you look at these historical figures such as MLK and Malcolm X especially, and you're looking at people today and everything is Democrat. It's liberal. It's this, and it's like, if you only knew you were on the wrong side, you're not supposed to be on that side. Do a live stream. All right, go on now. You gotta go, buddy. Go on now. He's like, if he touches that camera cord, my camera's gonna go out. Go.
One thing I like about you, I like how real you are. Like, I love it. Like from how you talk to your email, everything is. I love how real you are. Like, that's missing in life these days. So I just appreciate you.
Thank you. Likewise. It's, a lot of people I think are too afraid they want to pander. They have to grift. They have to go with what's cool and not just speak how they're thinking. And if you will, some people might get offended by how you feel, but you know what? That's not our obligation to tiptoe around whatever offends them. If you're more genuine with people and if you're more yourself, people are going to gravitate towards that, and then who knows, you might start a whole ass revolution,
Exactly.
It's she's Pete's. All right. So I found your disc. So yeah, I did. I got it. You want to,
let's play it. Yeah, let's play it.
All right. Oh my gosh. This is going to be so funny. Anything is this dude. I am all for, if I can get the right button here. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Oh yeah. I got to present this. I forgot.
The media one. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to share the file. Sure. Oh, here, Joe Biden diz. Oh, this is so great. I have never seen it, but I have to do this.
Have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Got blackness leaving my body, cause Joseph told me nobody black voting for Trump is swarthy. Joe Biden, thanks for the guidance. So where do I turn this black heart and mail it into somebody who made you the white man in charge of the black authority? Joe Biden, the biggest headache that I've had in my life. Not the first time you've been a black man's vice. Claiming you know about me, about that black man's plight. What the acting? You would rather give a black man life. That's Joe. Extending prison sentences in 94. Joe. Ripping father figures from inside the home. Joe. You grew up in the burbs, just be silent, Joe. Joe. You don't know the herd, you will never know. You try to start spending free money for veterans. You plagiarize speeches. Speaking impediment, I'll never vote Joe. But Biden for president, Trump 2020 is still keeping my melanin. Joe.
That was brilliant.
You like that?
Yeah, no, I didn't like it. I loved it.
Thank you. You see, I put the facts in there. I always put facts.
You did. He did extend prison sentences.
No, I don't. See, the thing is like that's what's missing with a lot of things. You know how we talk about the realism and the truth and stuff like that. Like the hip hop that I like when people say, "Oh, I like that rap," and I was like, "Yeah, every part of that is true." You know what I mean? Every part of that is true. Everything is real because hip hop. People don't know hip hop started to get Black and Latino people off the street so they don't do activity. So they were like, hey, why don't you break dance? Why don't you go to this party? Why don't you DJ? Why don't you rap? This and that. And you tell me how your hood is. Tell me what's going on in your hood and this and that. And so that's why, like, when you hear early rap, you're like, wow, why do I relate to the old school stuff? Because they're being real. They're saying real stuff. They're saying my life is like this. I'm going through the struggle. I'm feeling this way and this and that. But now you don't hear none of that. It's crazy because hip hop has switched so much so where it's not you're not the drug dealer anymore. Now you're a druggee in hip hop.
Yeah,
like you do drugs now. You don't sell drugs anymore in hip hop. Everybody is the opposite. Like a lot of like men, they're feminine, and a lot of women, they're masculine. Now everything's switched and stuff like that. So it's just like I wasn't raised on that type of hip hop. I was raised on the hip hop so where like when you say something, it comes from you and it's authentic. So like it's like it's kind of like that saying. It's like I'd rather somebody hate me for being me than love me for being fake. You know what
100,
I mean?
absolutely. You know, like Tupac, you know, that was, I loved Only God Can Judge Me,
Yep.
right? And then we have Lil Nas X on a stripper pole. It's crazy. Just like the damn devil. And I'm over here going, what in the actual hell is going on here? But you know what? It's so insane to me how things have switched like that. Like with Chicago under Trump, everything was going a lot better. Did you notice how January 1st, right after Biden gets in office, right? And they wait 1 year after Biden, then they signed the Safety Act. Because when you were just talking about rap getting Latinos and Blacks off the streets and getting more productive and speaking about their struggles, getting them off the streets, then Chicago and Illinois, they go and pass the Safety Act, which decriminalizes and gets away. In this bill they pass in the dead of the night, it's 1,400 pages long. So, you know, they snuck everything in there. But of course they used the guise of race, that bail is racist. So if you
said bail is racist?
Yeah, bail is racist. So they have decided to catch and release, basically. So if you are committing crimes like breaking and entering, armed robbery, there's even like corrupting others with drugs in there. There's all kinds of these violent felonies that if, you know, I've been arrested for felonies. I've went to prison. I've been arrested a lot, and never once have, when I had to pay bail. It wasn't because of the color of my skin. It was because my dumb ass committed crimes. And they were like, either you're going to go to court and we're going to make sure, or you're going to have to pay a bond. And if you don't come, then, you're really screwed. You know, so they have passed the Safety Act in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden crime spiked. You know, Chicago has the strictest gun control laws, one of the strictest gun control laws in the United States, yet their gun violence just keeps going up and up and up. And I grew up in Cleveland, and at Maple Heights, so it was a suburb of Cleveland, but you know, it's predominantly Black neighborhood. But like today, when you drive through East Cleveland, which in the 70s, the 60s and 70s, like when, you know, the 60s with Black Wall Street, 70s with Black Wall Street era, you know, there was a very affluent neighborhood. They had huge mansions. East Cleveland was absolutely gorgeous. The Rockefellers lived there and everything, right? Well, today you drive through East Cleveland, and I go there, I drive through there and I weep. I sob because it is so bad. There's like an AutoZone there, a Popeyes chicken. Of course, the Planned Parenthood is there. You got to have the Planned Parenthood.
It's not a mistake.
No, it's not. And I always say, how come there's no Planned Parenthoods in the white neighborhoods? Why are they always in the black neighborhoods? Why? And
Well, you know that. Everybody knows it. Come on.
I know the reason why, but nobody will answer me correctly. No one wants to say it.
They don't want to say it. They don't want to say the truth. It's the truth.
And it's really devastating because we have today, the culture today is nothing like I want to commend your mother, because she did it the right way. Hey, listen, I got to get on my feet, and as a mother, especially with 5 children, you have to do what you have to do, in order to get back and get back on your feet. And she did just that, but it is so different from today, because like the Marxist BLM movement, the nuclear family is seen as the devil. It's seen as, we don't believe in it. We're lesbians. Why would we believe in a nuclear family? Because the matriarchy and patriarchy, the patriarchal family is a beautiful thing. That is the discipline, the nurturer all in one. And kids, no matter what background, what ethnicity they are, if it's a 2-parent household, it's a more successful house. It's more successful the children and the family is going to be. So today, in the welfare state, in the welfare system, if you are an unwed mother, you get food stamps, you get cash assistance, you get Section 8. If you get married, guess what happens? That goes. Even if you move somebody into your home, that goes. They keep you enslaved in that welfare system, and it is a trap. It's a trap. They don't want you to get out of it. They want you in that web. So, hey, look at the Democrats, what we're doing. We're keeping you fed, we're keeping, and a lot of people today, how can they afford to get off the welfare system when the Inflation Reduction Act is increasing the prices tenfold? It's a never-ending trap. It sucks, and the culture today is way different, isn't it?
It's ridiculous. And what I was going to say was, I wanted to chime in, and I'm going to connect what you're saying about the welfare system, and I'll connect it to Juneteenth and slavery. I'll tell you what I mean by that in a second. But I live in a place in Texas where I am between the first area where they celebrated Juneteenth, and the other side is a former KKK stronghold. I live in the middle. So
got chills.
Isn't that crazy? So you tell me, you know what I mean? Like, I know it gets me chills when I say it. It gives me goosebumps when I say it. So you tell me, we haven't had progress, but I was glad that I was able to go and visit the monument that said this is where it stood. And I really feel like those monuments, those statues need to stay, because a person like me, whoever needs to go and see those monuments and see what we did wrong back in the past and what we did right now, and how can we never do that again. So the monument's there, and then right next to the monument there is another statue. I posted them on my Instagram, but he's one of the first guys who took down the KKK down in Texas, and they put a whole monument of him. And then on the other side is where they celebrate African American heritage and Juneteenth and stuff like that. People don't know how important Juneteenth is. I'm gonna break it down really quick. Juneteenth is very important because, they're like, oh, why are Black people always bringing up slavery and color and racial stuff? Okay, well let me tell you why. Because the reason why slavery is brought up all the time is, even though Emancipation Proclamation was signed, was sent out, and all that type of stuff, there were people who didn't know that they were free until 2 years later. There's a lot of people who don't know that.
I did not know
about that. So there was a major from the army who came down on horseback down to Galveston, Texas, down to the south, and said, hey, listen, all these slaves are free. You need to let them go right now. He ended up getting blacklisted because he's a white dude who did that. He ended up doing like a sunset tour in Arizona after that. But it took somebody like that who had the bravery and the balls to go down there and like just basically sabotage his career just to let those slaves knew that they were free. However, However, this is the parallel to the welfare thing. However, if you're a free slave, right? You can't read, you can't write, you have nowhere to go. No one will hire you or pay you. Why would they pay you? You're not a white man. They're not gonna pay you, right? Or they put in these loopholes. You have to have like a suit, or you have to look like this, or you have to have shoes. So they put in these loopholes and stuff. And if you don't fit that criteria, what can you do? Nothing. So let me do this. So listen, I'm the slave owner now, right? I'm the slave owner. Just act like I'm a slave owner. I'm a slave owner. Hey, listen, I won't beat you. I won't treat you bad. But if you sharecrop here and you take care of the crops and do everything that you were doing, I'll give you a place to stay and something to eat. And I'll keep you here on the plantation. What does that sound like today? The Democratic Party with welfare trying to keep Black folks and minorities still on that plantation. I'll feed you, like how you said, I'll feed you, I'll house you, I'll clothe you. Oh, you want to get out of the hood? No, you can't do that. But your welfare card does work at the grocery store right next to the Popeyes, in which you might have some extra money on there. And then what do? You mismanage your money. You're not financially literate, because they don't want you to be financially literate. Because if you're financially literate, you get out the hood, and you may want to teach other people.
So God forbid, right?
They don't want to teach you how to be responsible and financially literate. So they want to keep destructing the nuclear Black family and keep the Black family separated how it is right now. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing. It's like I see too many similarities between the welfare system as it stands today and slavery right when it ended in the 1800s.
That is insanity. It's true though.
People don't know that. People don't know. And so like, I want to say this too. A lot of conservatives, I don't know why some conservatives have an issue with Juneteenth being celebrated. It should be celebrated if you know what it's about. And it's not like, oh yeah, Independence Day is for everybody. It's just not. Independence Day is just not for everybody, because Independence Day was prior to that point, and we have different times in history. Like there's different heritages. There's different heritage months and for women, for other people and stuff like that. And we could celebrate those things. But Juneteenth is very important to know and to note, and not to be twisted into something that's a racial thing. I mean, it is a racial thing, but not be twisted in a bad way. It's a good thing.
Yeah, you turn a negative into a positive, and you got it to talk about it in the light of it being positive, that this is why we should talk about this. We shouldn't talk about it to make people continue. Like their plan is to keep victimizing people and victimhood mentality. But if you know the facts, oh, is he?
He went like this. He went, "Hey, how you doing?
Ray.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? What is that, Alien or
It's
SpongeBob?
SpongeBob.
I love SpongeBob.
Hey, what's up? He says. Okay, now go on. Now I'm having a really deep conversation.
Mommy, it's nighttime and you gotta go. And we have to go to bed.
Well, you have to go to bed. I don't. I'm an adult. When you're an adult, you can go. You can stay up late too.
He's gonna remember that.
Okay,
He's gonna remember that.
Now. Here, take that to Grandma. Show her how pretty that is. We got that in Florida.
He's gonna remember it, because I remember it too. Because I literally tell my mom to this day, because my mom listens to me. My mom listens to me now, so I tell her. I said, remember what you said. So
my house, my rules.
So 34 years later, he's gonna say that to you.
Oh my gosh.
He's gonna be like, my house, my rules.
We're like, oh great. And I'm gonna say, yeah, you know what? I wiped your butt until you were 6 years old.
So you wipe my
Guess what? Payback.
My turn.
Right?
My
you
turn.
know, it's I think it's a really good point that you made. I think that a lot of conservatives do say, we shouldn't talk about Juneteenth, and I for a long time I thought the same. I was like, yeah, it's kind of bad to bring it up, keep bringing it up. And so I like the fact that you did educate me on that, because you know what, it is very important. It is very important, because I didn't know that they kept slaves in the dark like that, and they lied to them for 2 freaking years. That's like Joe Biden or Kamala Harris telling people, guess what, you're outdate. Yeah, it's past, but you're staying here to give us that labor for another 2 years.
But
And
a
we're
lot of
not
them
going
didn't
to
know. A lot of them
yeah,
didn't know because if you think about it, news didn't travel as fast as how it does now, though. That's
right.
one thing to note. News didn't travel fast, and you had to go on horseback and send letters and things. And even if, for example, say the slave master did get the letter, you think he's like,
Nah.
everybody gather around, you're free.
Yeah. Kumbaya. Let's
Yeah, like
go.
so, like I like to look at it from every different perspective. And the thing is like I like to look at history as a learning lesson. So I do want those statues of the monuments of like, oh, this was where the KKK was. I want the statues of this is where Juneteenth was. Down there in Alabama, where that whole brawl happened. I don't know if you saw that brawl thing.
Oh yeah, I did. Roman, no, you're gonna knock these cords off. Go on. Yes, I saw it. It was absolutely. Hey, look what he brings.
It was
me.
ridiculous. Shake and bake. There you go. Shake and bake.
This is really
With-
good. The barbecue glaze one. It's super good. I don't know
What's
why
called-
he's
What's called
Barbe-
the shake and bake, the Ricky Bobby.
yes, I like Ricky Bobby, but no, yeah, I saw that. That was kind of crazy.
But the thing was it was crazy because it happened in a place where that place normally is about unity, actually, because the boat captain is a black man, but he was boating in all types of people. It just happened that family just happened to be white that was in the spot, because the thing is when you go down to the pier, that big boat comes in and it's like a touristy thing. So like you could go on it, you know what I mean? And he was just a black man driving the boat for that day. The captain's different all the time. And it just happened to be that way. But like he was driving and then that white family was in the way. He was like, listen, I got to get you guys out of the way because the boat is right there and I need to bring in all the tourists because that's a tourist area. They're just trying to turn money. It wasn't a racial thing at all.
No, it's not.
It wasn't.
That's just trying to do his damn job.
And the police chief was like, because they're trying to push for a hate crime or whatever. He's like, I'm not going to push for a hate crime because it's not a hate crime. The fact of the matter was, it was an isolated incident, and those people were being racist and discriminatory, but it's not a hate crime. So the thing is like, that's why I don't like people to be like racist and call it, because the thing is they water down when something really happens. And I don't like that. But anyways, the point I'm saying is down there in Alabama, they have the statues of the slaves and change and stuff. And I like that. I don't like the image, obviously. I don't like the image, but I like the fact that they have the history and they shouldn't take down any of the statues, because I want to go there, or our kids should go there and see, hey, matter of fact, I don't need to do that. That was horrible. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And when they started taking stuff out of history books was when we were in high school, right? Now what happened? What happened?
Now everything's about race. And
everything's about race because they're making it up. They're making it up. They're not looking back at and then showing what Frederick Douglass did.
Harriet Tubman,
Abraham Lincoln contributed. People don't know that the civil rights movement started because of Emmett Till. What happened was Emmett Till came down from. You know about that, right?
That is the worst picture on the internet. You know,
what mother wants to do that? What mother? Any race? Any race?
Right. She did it though for a purpose, and look what it started. You know, she had all intentions of that exactly happening, and it did. And you know, for a mother to lose her child in that way, and the most horrific way, that man wasn't even recognized. He didn't even look like a human being. Nobody deserves that.
Teenager.
Yeah, kid. You know, in Cleveland just the other day, a 13-year-old, actually Euclid, another suburb outside of Cleveland, like literally on the border of Cleveland, there was a 13-year-old boy walking to his friend's house and he just got gunned down. And that's the second one this week, a teenage kid, his whole ass life in front of him. And it's like, what the hell is going? We need to protect our children. And it was crazy, like the whole civil rights movement, the Underground Railroad, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Abraham Lincoln, the pants. You got me.
I know it's hard to say.
The Emancipation Proclamation.
Say it 5 times fast.
Emancipation Proclamation. But I was, when I was in elementary school, we did a piece on. We did slavery. We did reenactments, and we did the Underground Railroad, and I was a lead. I played Harriet Tubman, but I didn't go in. I didn't go in blackface or anything like like that, but I got to like wear an old style clothes, like a bonnet and everything else. But it wasn't like I didn't change my vocabulary. Like, I didn't pander or bring out hot sauce, for crying out loud. But even in the 4th grade, I knew how important it was and how far we have advanced and how we looked at it like, oh my God, that was horrific. Thank goodness that changed, because who deserves that? Nobody deserves to live like that. No one deserves to be enslaved. And what sucks is that there was, the slavery from all walks of life. And my ancestors were slaves too, but it was like, we have advanced so far since the Middle Ages, basically the Ice Age. It's like, come on, like we have to move on. We don't want to forget it, but we have to see
Advance.
we have to see how far we have come, and we don't want segregation.
No.
I'm sorry. It's something that it was very ugly, and I still look at pictures because I do like history, and I wanted to bring up, I know you don't, I know that you like history and you do a lot of history in your music. There's a band, right? And they're Swedish metal, but they're not like not like that metal, but they're all about history, and they talk about all of their songs are history, and they're called Sabaton, but they're really good.
Sabaton. I need to write that down.
Yeah,
Sabaton.
I'll send you a link.
Oh, yeah, just send it to me.
Yeah, they do all sorts of different like historical events and tragedies and all of that, and they
So
honor
you're a metalhead.
heroes. Well, I like everything but country, but I'm starting to
get warm up
to the country stuff because I like John Rich. I like now Oliver Anthony, of course, but I guess I was wrong. It's not country, it's bluegrass. But like I grew up in Cleveland. We're the birthplace of rock and roll. The heart of rock and roll is here in Cleveland. And we I've seen all sorts of different kinds of music, blues from R&B to blues to I've been to rap shows. I've been to everything but country shows. I can't lie. I have not gone to country shows ever in my life. No,
do you
wait.
think you'd ever go? Do you think you'd ever go?
No, I take that back. I went to the Oak Ridge Boys when I was a little girl. They did funny voices. I think it was like boom, boom, like they had I was a cappella.
Oh, okay.
It was a cappella band. But yeah, now that I remember, it was at like a Ponderosa Park or something when I was like a little kid. So I did go to one, but I just feel like music, it holds no boundaries. I think you look at like the shit that Darius Rucker got when he went from Hootie and the Blowfish to being just Darius, and being a country star. He was given a lot of crap at first, but everyone was like, why not? He's really good as a country artist. But I feel like it's so universal. It's colorblind. It should be anyways. And I hope that we do make the shift in the near future where we don't see color as a barrier. And I don't understand how it is such a strong barrier, and why race relations are what they are today when none of us can change it. None of like I was famous. I just said this the other day. I'm like, if a man can claim to be a woman, then F it. I am now, and I think I said I am Morgan Freeman. I'm a black man. And that's how much sense that makes, right? Like if you want to be called a woman, then call me Morgan Freeman, because that don't make no damn sense. Either one is going to make sense. So you have to try to make it make sense somehow, make fun of it. But I hope like one day soon that we all stand up collectively. And I was like, you know what? Enough of this division, because you're right. Like when you said this earlier, it stuck out to me. The elites are playing us like fools, and they are laughing at us right now by how divided we are for something none of us can control.
Exactly. And the thing is, I look at it like this as well, is if they did so many different things in the past, and when I say they, I'm talking about the people who in the civil rights movement, Emmett Till, MLK. Because the reason why the whole thing happened was because the thing happened with Emmett Till, so they needed somebody to stand up. And it was a young MLK. And then during that same time, Rosa Parks sat down. But the reason a lot of people don't know, Rosa Parks stayed on the bus because she was thinking about Emmett Till. So everything, the civil rights movement started springing off of Emmett Till. And then the lady came out and said that he didn't do anything that deserved that. I don't know if
Isn't
you
that
remember that. I don't know if you remember.
tragic?
I
Yes.
don't. So like the thing is, he was just selling candy, and then I don't know how the word got back
They
to her was it her husband, and I think the
she
brother,
was probably hitting on him. She's probably got some jungle fever and was probably like, "Oh wait, you're
probably
only a little kid.
you're
Oh
only
shit,
14. Oh,
yeah."
but no, you hit on me and then flipped it around. Yeah,
Yep, I think that's exactly what happened. Honest to God,
and
because how
that
that all
would
played
make
out.
that would make the most sense. That would make the most sense, and it's just so messed up. But the only reason that they found them was because there was a white boy that was fishing, and he was fishing, and the hook caught his body.
Oh dear
So the hook
God.
caught his body. No, but this is actually it's kind of like a catch-22 type of thing. The hook caught his body, dragged to the shore. His uncle identified the body. The reason why Emmett Till was down there was he's from Chicago. He took a train down there, and he was only supposed to be visiting his family for about 2 weeks. So he's only supposed to be there visiting. And while he was down there, he was hustling, selling the chocolate and stuff like that. But anyways, he only was recognizable by his ring that he had on his finger. It was on his I think it was like on one of his bigger fingers, like a middle finger. The ring was from his dad, who was in the army.
Oh no, it was an army ring.
It was an army ring, and it had the initials on the ring. And because it had the initials on the ring, they knew that the army ring belonged to the father of Emmett Till, and then that's when the mom, because they wanted to bury Emmett down there, and then
Real quick too, right?
Yep, and Mamie came down and said, "No, I'm taking him back." Took him and then said, "Open casket." She said, "Yes," and made him open casket. And then there was a line around the building. There's people trying to get in and they couldn't get in, and but they were so moved and so motivated at that time they didn't even care. But supposedly there was even a smell around the building. It was just great. I've done a lot of research about Emmett Till, but it was just so crazy. But all of that I'm saying this to say, all of that happened. Let's not have it happen in vain by going backwards,
right? So
in
how do you?
nonsense, and keep on bringing up things in a victim way, but in more of an informational way, so we know not to do it again. So that's my mentality. Yeah, I want to know about it or whatever, but I'm not saying it's holding me back. Nothing's holding me back in America. I'm doing whatever I want to do.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean? We're doing
Well,
this. We're talking. What were you gonna say?
how do you feel about? Have you seen the city bike nurse situation? It was huge for a whole month. It was black versus white. It was
Where's this?
Karen raising,
I didn't see that.
and it was in New York City. There was a kid that was on a city bike program. It was a welfare program where kids from the city could rent an e-bike, which is they're too lazy these days to pedal, so an e-bike just kind of propels you don't have to pedal. So in order to ride this bike for free for a real low rate per month, it's a welfare thing. And so you have to dock the bike, and when you dock the bike, it's somebody else's bike. Anybody can rent it from the city bike app. So it was parked. He wrote it down 20 minutes or so to Bellevue Hospital.
Oh, like the scooters, like the one scooter things, the bird scooter. Have you know the scooters too?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like the rentable shareables. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So you have to dock the bike.
Yeah.
And then you got to wait a certain amount of time before you grab it back up and rescan it. But while it was docked, when it is docked, it's in the rules that it is up for grabs. If somebody wants to take it, they can, and you have to either get a manual bike or get another e-bike.
You relinquish it.
Right. Out comes a pregnant physician's assistant from Bellevue Hospital after working 12 hours, and she scans the bike. She gets on it, and he runs up, "Hey, that's my bike. That's my bike." And she's like, "No, I scanned it." Well, she already had it out of the dock and scanned, right?
Yeah.
He pushes it back into the dock, and it clicks, and it resets the bike again. And here they're fighting over, this is a teenage kid, and this is a grown ass adult woman, right? But she's pregnant. I've been pregnant before. I know how it feels to be on my feet all day
Yeah.
when you have a watermelon in your belly.
Yeah.
You don't want to fucks with nothing. You
Yeah.
want to just get home. And
Yeah.
this physician's assistant, that's all she wanted to do was get home. And so they're fighting over this bike, and she is, elbowing, or he's elbowing her. She's elbowing him.
What?
She grabs his phone out of his hand, and all of a sudden it turned into, it was a racism thing. It wasn't nothing about race. It was a damn argument over a bike. Do you know that people were literally comparing, because she was crying help, help, and some other guy came over and he was like, what's going on here? And it was another hospital worker. Well, because of this, it was blown out of proportion and called racism, and she was weaponizing her white tears. First of all,
The physician assistant was white,
yes,
and then the kid was black.
yeah. So I left that part out. It was probably a very important part of this
Well,
conversation.
no,
but
that's actually a good thing, because like we shouldn't keep having to do that, explaining. You know what I mean? Like you didn't even do that. You just said two people.
yeah, well, I feel like if we just did that, the world would be a better. But I didn't even think about it. It just came
Yeah.
out naturally like that. But they were claiming that she was weaponizing her white tears, and she could have got this black kid killed. Whereas, no, she couldn't have. There was nothing like it was absolutely nothing of the sorts was going on like that. There was they eventually parted ways. Well, actually, one of his friends was like, come on, dude, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
give her you could have my bike.
Yeah.
He's seen she was pregnant and he was in a purple hoodie. And I was like, oh, that kid is a good kid right there. This one
Yeah.
here is being a jerk. They're both
Exactly.
being jerks, fighting over this stupid bicycle, but it was made about race. Do you know that they compared her and this situation to Emmett Till?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, they did.
Who said she's Emmett Till? They said she's Emmett
That-
Till. They said that she was acting like the accuser of Emmett Till.
yes.
No.
And I was.
No, that's disrespectful. That's
Thank
disrespectful.
you. See, normal people see it the same way, because I was like, how dare you even compare? This kid is at home and he got millions of dollars off of GoFundMe money because he was distressed and everything else, but nobody knows what he looks like. She was fired from her job. She was evicted from her place. They literally, Dr. Rashad Ritchie came on and was like, this racist ass Karen. And he literally, and that Dinesh guy, oh my God, I cannot stand that guy. He's so racist against white people. He's Middle Eastern, I think. I don't even know what
is that the Turks?
Rashad Ritchie is, but Dinesh is on TikTok and he ruins people's life. He doxes people. So he had her doxed. People sent hate mail to her and at work, and they had suspended her from her job without pay because of racism. They sent the news crews and everything to her home. She was evicted from her home at 6 months pregnant.
What?
Or 8 months pregnant. Oh yeah. And then to top things off, they compared this situation to Emmett Till. And I said,
how dare they? How dare they?
Right. I was like, you did not just do that. And I said,
If you know Emmett Till, you would not. If you know the real story, if you know, like I didn't go into details, but if you probably do know about.
I know the details of what happened, and I saw the pictures, and I don't need to see the pictures again. They're forever seared into my mind. I've never ever seen anybody look like that. And what Mamie had done was for a purpose, but for them to deliberately bring up the Emmett Till case as if it was meaningless, as if it was over a city bike where nobody was killed or disfigured in a way where you can't even tell that's a human being. I was like disgusted. I was like, you know what? Let me turn this into a positive. That kid in the purple hoodie, good job. Good job doing what you did. You tried to say, all right, enough. Here's my bike, ma'am. Let's just go. Let's just let bygones be bygones. But no, they wanted to make it all about race. And it divided a nation. It was terrible again.
When did this happen?
A couple months ago, a couple months back.
Man, I missed that one.
Oh, you sure did. Just be thankful because it was
I'm
so
glad.
terrible. Yeah. But if you saw the way that they were talking about Emmett Till, I know you would say something because
Yeah.
I had to. I was like, you guys are despicable. That is deplorable to even somehow correlate that. There
It's
is
not.
nothing compared to what Emmett Till went through. Come on now. It's not even, oh, she was weaponizing her white tears and she said nothing racist. No, race didn't even come up.
She just
But
said I was here first. That's it.
yeah, it was a big mess.
And that's the thing, and that's why I think that's why it's so important to have that history there, because if they really knew the history, if they really saw the pictures, if they saw had all this information that Mamie put that out there. She put it out there because she says, I don't want anybody to ever forget this ever. And like when you see it, it probably burned in your memory. Like I remembered how it looked in my. I don't want to see it, but it burned in my memory, and it's horrible. And then when you find out like every little thing that they did to him,
Yeah.
and that just every like yeah, just oh man, it was horrific. So to even correlate, to even parallel, to even it's not even the same universe. What they did to Emmett Till was probably the worst thing you could probably ever do to somebody ever.
Yeah, I agree.
While he's begging for his life. Like
Yeah,
just imagine that
a
a little
little
kid out there
kid, man.
alone in the dark, and they're doing that to you.
I
And
can't.
and then when Mamie's in the courtroom, they're sitting in the front, smiling and smoking cigars. Did you see those pictures?
No, I
Yeah,
couldn't look past the casket picture. I can't. I can't. Yeah.
it's horrible. So that's why I feel like it's very important for people to know their history, not to like wallow in it to be victims, but I feel like it's important so we do not go there again. And there's that quote. I mean, was it? I forget who it's from, but those who don't know their history is doomed to repeat it. That old quote.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think a lot of people see that a lot of, they see historical events not as learning lessons, but they see it and they get angry and they get resentful and they get stuck on that. And it's like, wait. But that's not where we are today. We are
exactly.
here today. Why are you letting something keep you in that perpetual state of victimhood? And that's what they want. That is what the great elites want, because these great elites, if you look at them, how many black folks are in that circle at the WEF?
Handful.
Maybe that, right? It's like,
Mommy,
what?
Grandma Kelly ate Grandma's candy for her reunion.
Oh, my dog, the Rottweiler.
Your dog ate your food, your
the
grandma's.
candy.
But yeah, but it's been real. Like
Yeah, I was calling you.
Well, you don't need to call me. I'm busy. I'm sorry.
we could, yeah, no, it's all good. We could wrap up
We're
and stuff like
supposed to
that. But
bring
yeah,
my
it was
phone down here.
it was good to talk with you and
Bring
like
your phone
have this
down here.
conversation about things. And
I think we should do it again. I'm
we
open
definitely
for it if you
should.
are, because it was
I
very
absolutely am.
insightful. I learned a lot about you, and you did school me on some things, and I am so appreciative of that, because I don't know everything. I don't think anybody does, but
Me either. Me either.
if we can learn from each other, I think that's the greatest thing, that the greatest service that we can do for our community as a whole. We the people, we can learn from one another,
Exactly.
and we can have a civil conversation, even if we don't agree on everything.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful thing. I had fun with you. It was
Exactly.
great, man.
Same. And your good vibes. Nothing but good vibes, like on this shirt.
He's a good boy.
He is.
He really is. But Ray, thank you so much for coming on. I'll be in contact with you. And if you're open for it, I am too.
Definitely. And send me that metal band.
Oh, Sabaton. Yeah.
Sabaton. Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanna see
you'll
that.
like them. They're not like screaming like deathcore metal or anything like that, but they make a lot of sense, and they talk
Big
about
Joe
history
Biden is.
in a good, positive way, as in learning and celebrating heroes. They have a heroes album that is that's what they do. They celebrate heroes and they honor veterans and military. So they
I
do
gotta
help
hear that.
out. Yeah, I will send that to you as soon as we're done.
All right. Well, y'all have a good night, and I am gonna try to stay cool in this Texas heat.
You could come to Cleveland.
Is it cooler there?
Yeah, it's a little bit. We're probably in the 70s, 63 right now.
Oh man, I'm
His
kind
under
of
the
jealous of
jacket.
that because it's 109 up here.
Ew. Yeah, no. Yeah,
disgusting.
that's all right, Ray. It was real, man. Thank you
Have a
so
good night.
much.
Oh yeah, you
Peace.
had your phone back
Say bye.
behind you.
All right, give me that.
You had your
All right,
phone.
guys. That was a very cool conversation that Ray and I
it
had.
was.
That was
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe. You guys follow the Marine Rapper Ray. He's real people. He's very down to earth, man. I didn't think that our conversation was going to flow as naturally as it did, but I think it goes to show that where I grew up and what I grew up with and grew up seeing, like, we didn't see
Everybody-
this as a barrier. Okay, that's enough. I gotta say goodbye. Sit down right there for 2 seconds. Give me that arm. Let me see that. Give me that arm. This is pretty funny. Growing up in the neighborhood that I did, we were very diversified, and we didn't see anything like that as a barrier. And this is why it's so shocking to me today that is what. Go scare grandma with that arm.
No.
Yeah, go scare her with
No,
it. She will be
no.
so scared. She will be so scared.
No,
Ray.
I'm not doing it. No.
Okay. All right. You're right. Maybe I shouldn't tell you to scare grandma. That's probably wrong. We shouldn't scare an old lady like that. She'd probably have a heart attack, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Show everyone your teeth. Yeah. He lost 2 teeth this week.
Yep.
Oh.
This week, we're going to subscribe for more reactions.
More reactions, more podcasts.
Yeah, more podcasts.
Podcast. Good vibes only.
And good vibes.
We might have to call the podcast Good Vibes Only, because we did vibe pretty well there, Ray and I didn't we, guys?
Good vibes
right.
only.
All right, you guys, I appreciate you. Make sure you go subscribe to
I appreciate you too, everybody.
To Ray, the Marine Rapper, and make sure that you go support
Marine
him, you guys.
Rapper.
Every link is down in the description of the video. I appreciate you all hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun. All right, guys, make sure you when this finishes uploading, leave some comments when
Leave some comments for us, everybody.
What else do you do?
Do a thumbs up and rise up.
A thumbs up and rise up. That's right. All right, guys, take care. I'll talk to you guys
Like
soon.
and subscribe, everybody, to get the SpongeBob Good Vibe shirt.
All right, y'all. I love you. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Have a great evening.
Have a great day, everyone.
At evening. It's nighttime now. It's past your bedtime. What are you doing up at 10 o'clock at night? My goodness. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Make sure you go follow Marine Rapper and you go support him on his channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to Ray, and all of his links are down in the comments.
Subscribe to me for just when I turn 16. I'm going to have to do a reaction on this computer.
All right, y'all. Good night now. See ya.
Good night. How are you going, everybody?
How are you going? Time to take him to bed. See ya. You're a goofball.
Yeah.